Hello curl friends, welcome to my channel. Special welcome if you are new here. My name is Jody and it's great to have you join me today. I'm excited for this video because it is the popular Affordable Drugstore series where I try out products that are, if you haven't noticed, I have changed the price on this. It used to be $10 and under is what I consider Affordable Drugstore. I bumped it up because of inflation to the $12 mark, and under is now what I am considering affordable drugstore. So I hope that doesn't bother you, but I just feel like it opens up a little bit more opportunity for me to try a few other things in this category and still have it be reasonably affordable, especially by today's standards. That's a chatty intro though. Let's get into these products that I'll be working with. Now the brand that we are doing today is ODELE, and I did put this a while back on my Instagram, and I think I did a YouTube post as well asking which brand, which brand you guys wanted to try. I asked like the Not Your Mother's, this ODELE brand, and the Can't Do Weightless. I plan on trying all of them actually, but I went in the order that they had ranked as far as which one you guys were most excited to see. I started out with the Not Your Mother's, the newer Curl Talk products. Now we're finally on to ODELE. I've already shampooed and conditioned, so I'll show you those shower scenes, but I did just want to let you know that I went in with the volumizing ones. I could have gone in with their regular ones. I debated about getting like their clarifying shampoo or versus the regular one, and I just decided, you know what, let's do the volume one. I think they were out of the regular one when I went into Ulta because I did pick these up in store in Ulta, and I was debating about the volume ones anyway, so I said, you know what, let's just go in with these, something a little bit different. And I gotta say, I am very impressed by this shampoo and conditioner. So let's get into the shower scenes and I'll tell you more about these products in there. This is the ODELE Volumizing Shampoo. The 13-ounce retails for $11.99. Give your hair a boost of volume with a salon-grade shampoo that helps the hair live up to its full potential. Gentle cleansers remove excess oil without stripping the hair or the scalp. The shampoo nourishes and moisturizes without weighing hair down. The directions say to work into wet hair, rinse and follow with the conditioner, and avoid contact with eyes. Okay, you guys, I have to say this shampoo lived up to all its claims and then some. So yes, it's nourishing. Yes, it's a gentle cleanser. Yes, it doesn't weigh your curls down or weigh your hair down in general. But this shampoo has such a deep lather to it, and that lather works in so well and detangles your hair. This is what they don't talk about, folks. This shampoo, at least for me, my experience, it detangled my hair. And not just like a little bit, like it's really nearly fully detangled my hair. I don't know that my conditioner really had any work to do. I was very impressed with that. The only caveat I will say, the only difficulty I did have was trying to rinse it out. It took a long time and a lot of effort to rinse the shampoo out. I think just because like the lather was so in depth into my hair, worked into all the nooks and crannies, that it took a while. So that's the only downside, but really it's not that bad. This is the Volumizing Conditioner. The 13-ounce retails for $11.99. Give your hair a boost of volume and take confidence in knowing that the salon-grade conditioner helps your hair look and feel thicker while enabling increased bounce and movement. Fortified with amino acids to promote hair strength, this nourishing conditioner moisturizes and adds shine without adding weight. The directions say to smooth on, rinse, and go. So, yes, this conditioner is a great conditioner. It is detangling, but like I said earlier for the shampoo did most of the heavy lifting as far as the slip and detangling. There was not much that this conditioner really had to work with as far as the tangles. As far as does it make my hair look and feel thicker? I don't really think so, to be truthfully honest. I talk more about this later on, I think on day 2 results. And then as far as increased bounce and movement, yes, this gave my hair plenty of bounce and movement, especially on day 1. It's lightweight as well. All right, now we're ready to go in with the stylers. And this was another one I was debating on. Do I want to go in with the air dry cream, or there was another styler, I don't remember off the top of my head, but spoiler alert, we went in, or I chose the Leave-In Detangling Tonic. This 8-ounce retails for $11.99. It says it is an effective multitasker. The salon-grade lightweight leave-in is milky magic, fortified with amino acids and plant proteins that promote hair health over time. This tonic hydrates, detangles, and adds shine, and helps protect the hair against environmental damage and heat styling on the daily. The directions say to spray onto damp hair before combing through to detangle or refresh the curls. So I don't plan on using this as like a refresher. That's really not something I see in my future doing that as, but let's use this as a detangler and a light leave-in conditioner as my base styler. So I ended up choosing this one because it says it is lightweight, and I said, you know what, I don't want to do all creams and everything like that. I want to show you guys a variety of products. I think I got a lot of it right here. Let me take my little t-shirt towel here and just dab some of that out because I really got it concentrated right in that spot. This spray is a pretty good mist. I feel like it distributes it pretty decently. It's not perfect. It's not like my ultimate favorite, but it's not bad. I have used these products before one other time, so I got a little bit of an idea of what to expect, but I haven't like thoroughly tested it out multiple times, I feel like, so I just didn't want to go in blind with this one. Now, as far as detangling abilities, I can't really tell you because my hair was already so detangled from that wash day routine, but I would say it is a very good lightweight leave-in. It's not overpowering. If you have very fine hair, you know, you may want to use that with caution, but I do think it's a better option for those of you with finer, light or low density hair. All right, I debated with myself whether I wanted to go in with the gel, like brushing it through my hair, because it is thin enough that I think you can do that, but I chose not to, and that's how I did it the first time as well. And yeah, I just think I'm going to continue with that way, at least for right now, for bringing it to you guys. Like I said, it's a gel that I think you could brush through if you wanted to. It would probably give you a little bit more hold and control, but for the sake of this video, we're just going to apply it after my hair is already brush styled. Now, this hair, because of the leave-in detangler, and you know, like I said before, my wash day was pretty fantastic. My hair already felt like it had tremendous amount of slip and everything, and so my hair right now is in a really good state. And it's hard for me to determine, maybe I should have done this or used this leave-in outside of you know, styling with this brand, just to see what it gives me on like a regular wash day, or maybe a wash day that I use like a more stripping wash day products. But so far, my hair has tons of slip. It has like a, I don't want to say like a coated feeling, but just has a softness to it that I've not really felt too much before. And I really like that. Like I said, it's not really a coated feeling, but there is just an extra element of softness that I've never felt before. And so it is lightweight. I do want to reinforce that idea. Like, I did not have any problems with this being heavy at all when I tried it before. So I think right now at this point, I'm just going to kind of fast forward through this brush styling, and I'll meet you back when I have got this fully brush styled through, and I'll see if there's anything else I need to talk about, but then we'll just kind of move on to the gel styler. All right, things are going well so far. Not run into any issues. I am still re-wetting my hair as I go. I'm not finding like it's necessarily drying out in between, but I just want to maintain that moisture level because for me, it's easier for my curls to clump on very wet hair. Some people prefer damp styling, less wet than I have. And then there's some of us who like to have our hair really wet. Which are you? Are you more of a damp styler, or do you prefer having very wet hair? Let us know in the comments. I have this one area like at the nape of my neck on both sides, and probably in the very back as well, where it just like I have a hard time getting that very wet. I feel like I can always see some frizz there when I go to brush style that area. And a part of me wonders, like, is that because of like the lower porosity there? That area is one of the areas that takes the longest for it to dry, or is it just because of like the location that it's at? It's just hard to get to. But literally, like, I am putting the sprayer right on it. When I initially wet my hair, I had my hair over the tub, had my head right under the sink, and I just feel like that area just doesn't get as wet very easily. So I don't know, maybe I'm just making more of it than needs to be, but I'm just kind of curious. It's probably just like a location thing. I think if my hair was much more coarse, maybe I could understand that area repelling the water more, but I don't know. I guess I'm just talking to be talking. Let's go in with our next styler then, the ODELE Flex Hair Gel. This 8-ounce retails for $11.99. It says crunch free and proud to be. This versatile and flexible hold styling gel is the Goldilocks of shine plus long-lasting control, never flaky or drying, used on curly or wavy hair for frizz-free definition, or a lock-in and slick style for the long haul without adding weight or that wet forever vibe. Yeah, you know what we mean, it says. And it says it's perfect to follow up from the leave-in conditioner. The directions say to apply as the last step of your styling routine for flexible hold. Work evenly through wet strands for wash and goes, or smooth onto the root for root to tip for slick styles. All right, we are going to be applying this right side up and upside down because I want to get some full coverage with this gel. Now, when I have used it in the past, I would say it has not been the longest lasting. I really liked my day 1 results, but by day 2, I was a little bit on the struggle bus, so let's see what we can get here. This is the consistency. A little bit of tack, a very slight bit, but not much at all. I'm going to go in with that amount on each side. And then, as I said, I'm also going to apply some upside down as well. Could I have gotten better hold just by brush styling this in? Yes, I could have. But in that case, sometimes too, the way this looked on my hair, like it was very defined and light and fluffy. I really like that. It really played into that whole volume idea that started out with the shampoo and conditioner. But it did have extreme shine, and sometimes when it has a lot of shine and it's very defined, I can also tend to look stringier faster that way too. So that was another reason why I chose not to brush style it in. All right, I'm going in with the same amount on the underside. And I do want to kind of slightly divide my hair and just kind of get this in between areas. It doesn't feel like there's hardly anything on my hair. Basically, my hair feels naked. Doesn't feel like there's really any product, which is nice if you're looking for a lightweight hold, or a light styling routine is what I want to say. All right, I've wrangled my wet plop on. I'm going to leave this on for about 10-15 minutes. I'll diffuse my hair and I'll come back and I'll show you the results. All right, girlfriends, let's take a look at these results. I'll let you look at both sides, the underside as well, and then we'll look at the back of the hair, and then we'll get into all the details. All right, so my thoughts on day 1 results. I have decent definition. It's a very fine definition. Like my curl clumps, my width of my curls is very skinny. I don't know how well you can tell that. Can you guys see that? Like this is a very narrow curl clump. Sometimes I get bigger curl clumps, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I think it depends on the weather, but a lot of times I think it depends on the products themselves. And this is similar to what I had the first time that I used with these products, so it's pretty consistent. It seems like in that, yes, I do have some areas where there's a little bit bigger curl clumps, but not, overall they're still pretty small. I do think that helps lend to some volume that I have. My hair feels very lightweight, very fluffy. It does feel well moisturized. There was no cast whatsoever. It dried pretty fast, but then like the last 10% of it took forever to dry, and I actually stopped because I was actually creating more frizz. But speaking of the frizz, I do have a decent amount of frizz. If I flip my part over, I have a decent amount throughout here. It's just, this is similar to what I had the last time as well, so I'm not surprised really. Could I have eliminated some of that frizz maybe by brush styling and gel in like I had talked about? Possibly, but then I also feel like my curl clumps would be smaller as well and maybe look more stringy like. This is a very soft hold in my opinion. There's no cast whatsoever, and so I just don't know how well this is going to hold up. Actually, I have an idea because like I said, I have used this before, but we're going to see how this holds up. I'm going to check back with you tomorrow and we'll go over the products individually and who I think that they may be best for, what I like and don't like about each of them, and then as well as what my results are looking like. So let's check back then. Okay, curl friends, we are back for day 2 using the ODELE products, and let's take a look at my hair, see how it is holding up. I definitely have some thoughts about it. So let me show you the back of my hair first, and then we'll get into those details. All right, so yesterday and into today, I really wasn't that rough on my hair, but I do feel like it's just not worn the best. I just feel like it hasn't lasted the best in the ways that I like. It may look decent on camera, but it just, okay, let me start out with what I don't like about it. The lightweight and fluffy volume that I felt like I had yesterday, it's still lightweight, but I feel like it's just fallen because there's no like structure, there's no texture to it, there's no cast to it, there's no grit to it. And I just feel like it feels a lot more flat. It's not the flattest I've had by any means. I've had a lot more flat hairstyles in the summertime when my hair is really weighed down and stuff like that. And even when my hair is longer, I feel like I've had more flat hairstyles, but I just feel like it feels so limp. And because of that too, it doesn't have the structure to keep my curls looking as nice and bouncy as I feel like they were yesterday. So this side is wearing a little bit better, I feel like. I'm not sure what that's about. But this side has definitely stretched out a bit more and the curls have gotten a bit more wonky. There's a bit more frizz developed. The frizz isn't terrible. Like I said, I did have a decent amount of frizz yesterday and it didn't, like it grew a little bit more my frizz level, but it's not terrible. Like it wasn't an excessive amount of frizz that has developed. But I don't know, I'm just not in love with it. Have you guys ever had that where it's hard to put your finger on what you don't necessarily like about it, but you just know that you're not like overly wowed by this? I'm sure some hairspray could do wonders for me as far as making me like it a little bit more, giving me that grit and texture that I like, giving me a little bit more volume as well. But it's just, I don't know, I'm struggling to appreciate this. And part of the reason too probably is because I've had this piece here in the front that for most of yesterday and even earlier this morning kept wanting to flop in my face like this. Okay, no matter which way I had my part, it just kept going in my face. And I think the only reason why it's not doing that right now is because I just put my makeup on, and so I had it clipped back to kind of keep my hair out of my face. And I think that kind of retrained it for a little bit. Although I had my hair kind of clipped back a little bit last night and it still did that. I don't know. It's behaving now for the camera. Can you guys hear that clock in the background? I hope you can't, because I want to keep talking over it because I want to get this video done so I can move on to other things. Now let's move on to the individual products. This volumizing shampoo. It's a really interesting volumizing shampoo because usually when I think of volumizing shampoos, I feel like I'm saying that a lot. When I think of this type of a shampoo, usually I think of something more clarifying because it like strips all the buildup off of your hair generally, so that way your hair isn't weighed down for the styling the styling and conditioning later. This was not the case. This is a very nourishing shampoo. It does fully cleanse your hair. I like how the lather really works its way into your hair and it feels like it gets all over and really actually provides some slip to your hair, which is pretty amazing for a shampoo. Very few of those do I come across. So I really do like this for that aspect. But the one thing that I don't really like about it is I feel like it takes forever to wash out. And maybe it's just because of like how the lather works in so incredibly into all the little nooks and crannies. Like, I'm not kidding you. And you can feel it and you can hear the lather in your hair. It's really interesting. And so I just feel like I spend a very long time washing that shampoo or rinsing that shampoo out. But really that's not that big of a deal, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. That's a minor thing to complain about, I feel like, personally. Now for the conditioner, this has a good slip for conditioner. It's a nice, like, loose, lightweight conditioner. I don't feel like it's a heavy one at all. And I can appreciate that. That's why it's probably part of the volume line. However, I feel like since I've always paired it with this shampoo, I don't get the full appreciation for how good the slip may be for this, because Like, I need to pair this with something that is much more stripping and that leaves my hair a little bit more gnarly and tangled feeling. But this has such an easy ride when it goes with the shampoo. Like, there's not too much work for it that it has to do when it has the shampoo with it. It does say it's supposed to add to fullness and thickness of your hair. I don't really notice that. I don't feel like my strands felt any thicker yesterday or today. I don't feel like my hair feels very full today. Maybe a little bit more so yesterday, but not really that much. I've definitely had products and wash days that I feel like have led to that far more than this. By the way, for the shampoo and conditioner, I think pretty much any hair type can use these. I don't think that there's going to be a problem with it. It's just more based on your preferences. What do you like and what do you not like? If you like the things that I describe about, give these a try. You may enjoy them. If you don't, if you have other preferences, you know, don't try them. Now, moving on to the conditioner. I do think this is a nice, milky, lightweight leave-in conditioner. I do think, like I said, it hydrates. Does it detangle your hair? My hair was already so detangled between the shampoo and the conditioner that this thing, I really didn't get a chance to put it to the test, to be truthfully honest. I'm looking at my notes here. It says it's supposed to protect against environmental damage and heat styling. And I can't really speak to that because I haven't used it on a real regular basis or anything like that. But I suppose if you use this over a prolonged period of time, I trust the company when they say that they do those things. So some of you might really appreciate that, having a heat protectant and environmental protectant in your leave-in conditioner. Now, the other thing, it says it's supposed to offer shine, and my hair was definitely very shiny. Was it due to this necessarily? I don't know 100%, but with this whole combination of wash day and styling routine, my hair was definitely shiny, I feel like. And hydrated, because my hair still feels really good today too. So it's going to last well, the hydration, into my next wash day. So who do I think that leave-in conditioner would be best for? Once again, anyone who likes those type of things. I think it could work for a finer hair curly. However, if you have very fine and low density hair, you may not need that much moisture. Just maybe a harder hold styling product that has a little bit of moisture in it, kind of like a single styler. That may be fine for you. So that's just something to consider. But I think it could work for anybody. If your hair is really parched and dry, I don't know, you may need something extra. You may need a little bit more, but give it a try. I think it would be a pretty good fit for most people. Now moving on to the last product, the Flex Hair Gel. And I have such mixed ideas about this gel. Actually, are they really mixed? Are they really conflicting? I don't know. I want to really love this, but I find myself not really loving this. I like it initially when I first styled my hair, but I don't think it lives up to all the hype or all the things that it claims that it should. Yes, it has shine. Long-lasting control? No, I don't think it has long-lasting control whatsoever. Never flaky? Okay, I'll give you that. Or drying? No, I don't think it's drying. My hair still, like I said, feels very good and hydrated. By the way, I'm looking at my notes. Frizz-free definition? No, I have plenty of frizz, I will say. It's not my worst frizz, but it's not a frizz-free definition by any means. I had the frizz on day one, and I'd certainly have it on day two. And as far as locking in sleek styles, because this doesn't have the hold, in my opinion, for just a regular wash day, I have a hard time picturing it really locking in a slick back style. And the notes also say that it doesn't add any weight, and I will agree with that. My hair, like I said, is very lightweight feeling. So who do I think it's best for? If you like a very light holding gel, you may like this. So maybe a very fine hair curly, a very fine hair low density curly, this may be good as a single styler. This would be the product I'd say out of all this bunch if you want to try this as a single styler, if you had that very fine low density hair that just gets weighed down so easily. This might be the one to try. I can't guarantee it though, because I don't really see it lasting a super long time, but it shouldn't weigh your hair down and it shouldn't dry your hair out. So those might be the pros to it. But for most people, I wouldn't really recommend this. This was like pretty disappointing to me. And I hate saying that, but it just didn't live up to a lot of the things that it claimed to. And so that's the biggest issue that I have with it. All right, and so that is my results. Those are my thoughts. Let me know if you agree or disagree, if you've tried this at all. Let us know if you have tried this brand, what you think of it. Has it worked for you, or do you have issues with it as well? And let me know if you're interested in trying this. I would love to hear your feedback. As always, I can't wait to see you again in the next video, and have a wonderful day. Bye.